Hello students, so once again you all are most welcome is in the light topic, and is in today's class students we are going to learn a very important topic, right? So this is the video part number 3 and I hope that you all have watched all the previous video parts, right? If you haven't, so please go and watch that video. Okay, so let me take you forward and is in the big question slides, so you can see what are the big questions we are going to cover today. So the first here, that is the basically revision. So we'll be doing a quick revision from the last video that's we did is in the second part of the light topic, and now we have the first topic that's we are going to study today. So that is rotation of mirror. So it's a very important. So we'll be trying to understand how the rotation of mirror basically works, right? Then we have the next one, that is the periscope, right? So we'll be studying about the periscope, what is that and what's its application, right, and the uses of the periscope. Okay students, so this is also very important topic, so let me tell you that. So the first heading is here we have inclined plane mirror. So this is the heading students we already have covered is in the video part number 2 of the light topic, but still I have taken here for your understanding purpose is in the revision basically a purpose, right, for the revision purpose basically. So here when we see the inclined mirror, so it's a basic meaning when two mirrors incline to each other by making sum of the angles. Okay, so if the images of an object is viewed in two mirrors or two plane mirrors that are inclined to each other, more than one image is formed is in that case. Okay, so the number of images found basically that's depend on the angle between two mirrors. So how many number of images will get, so that's basically depend on the inclination, basically the angle between both the mirrors. So as you can see here is in this picture basically, so these are the two plane mirrors and this angle is the angle between both the inclined mirror basically, that is a degree, and O is the object here at this point. This O is the object, right? So we have a very important formula for the finding the number of images, right? So the number of images formed in two plane mirrors basically inclined at an angle of a degree to each other is given by the formula here. So we have the formula, that is n is equal to, that is 360 degree upon theta minus of 1. Okay, so this theta is basically the angle between the two plane mirrors and n is the number of images. So we'll be simply dividing 360 upon theta minus of 1, and as in that case we'll be finding the number of images basically. But still there are a few conditions. On the basis of the condition we'll be finding and understanding this concept very well. Okay, so here are the two conditions basically. So the condition for the forming the image formation basically, or images formation. So we have the first condition students here. So isn't the first condition basically, as you can see here, if the value of 360 degree upon theta is even. Okay, so meaning is to say when you're dividing 360 by the angle, that is theta here, which is inclination angle between both the mirrors. So if it is if it is even, after solving it, if you are getting it is even, then we will be using the formula for the number of images, that is equal to basically n is equal to 360 degree upon theta minus of 1. So when we will be using this formula students, when we are getting the result or the after division 360 degree upon theta, that is even number. Let's say we are getting here 2, 4, 6, 8, any of the number that should be even number. So we are going to use this formula for finding the number of images. But isn't the second condition, suppose we are not getting even numbers, so what students? So isn't that case, suppose we are getting here 360 degree upon theta and that is the odd number. So isn't that case we are not going to use this formula directly, so we'll be simply finding the number of images between both the mirrors basically, and that will be is equal to here, which is n is equal to 360 degree upon theta itself. So this will give you the number of images. Okay, so isn't that way students, I hope that you have understood very well. So hope so you have understood that concept. If you haven't, so if you are still having some doubts, so you can comment, and my best advice to you students, don't miss the second part and please watch that second part video so that you can properly clear that. Okay students, so let me take you forward and let's begin with the today's basically main heading that's is in our today's class that we have to do. Okay, so here the main heading is basically rotation of mirror. So this is the main heading. So as in today's class we'll be trying to understand rotation of basically mirrors. Okay, so when we rotate the mirrors, so what would happen is in that case. Okay, so basically a rotation of plane mirrors here with an angle, let's say that's theta, around any axis, keeping the incident ray constant. So in this case students, basically we are keeping the incident ray at the constant point and we are still rotating with certain angle. Okay, at the same point the shift is in the reflected ray. So what would be the shift is in the reflected ray? So that's the point that we are going to find out here. So let's say this is the incident ray and this is the reflected one. So this is incident ray, okay, and this is the reflected. Let's say this is R1, and we are just keeping this incident ray at the same point. We are not like displacing it from anywhere, and this is the point of incidence basically, and then after from here only it is getting reflected back. So what would happen, students, right? So now what we are doing basically, when we rotate this mirror, so this is the mirror basically, let's say this is M1. So if you're rotating this mirror, let's say now this is the new position of M1. So now I'm writing here basically M2, and this is the new position, okay. So let's say the angle between both the mirrors when it is like rotated from M1 to M2, or you can say when it is like position from M1 to M2, the mirror basically, by making an angle of theta, so the reflected ray will now shift. Okay, so this was the previous reflected ray, right? So as I told you previously, because incident ray we are going to like fix it at certain point, at certain position only, we are not going to change it, okay. So is in the first case actually we were getting this one which was the reflected ray, but now after rotating this mirror by making an angle of theta here, so we are getting the second shift basically, the second reflected ray, which is we call R2. So as you can see, students, here there are some angle between these two, which is the R1 and R2. So this is the angle which we have to find out is in this today's heading here. As you can see, rotation of the mirrors heading, okay. So this is the point that we have to find out basically for what we are looking for. So let me take you forward, and I'll be explaining this thing is in very detailed manner. So when we say the rotation of mirror, so is in that case we have to find out basically the question mark here. So let me show you each and every step of the animation so that you can like properly understand it is in the better manner, okay. So let's say this is the incident ray that's falling on the any of the plane mirror. Let's say on a point, this is a point of incidence, let's say this is O, okay. So and this is the reflected ray here, this is the point basically, and this is the mirror, let's say this is M1, okay students, and this is I, which is incident ray, and let's say this is the reflected ray, that is R1, okay. So there must be some normal, as you know, and this normal will be always perpendicular on the plane. So if the mirror is the, like we are considering this mirror here which is parallel to the plane basically, okay. So is in this case this like normal, so you can say this is N1 basically, which is first normal here, so which will be like perpendicular on the plane or the mirror basically, right? So let's say the angle between the angle of incidence here and the angle of reflection here, that's equal. So I'm taking the angle of incidence here at this case, at this point basically, that is 30 degree. So is in the same way, because of the following the law of reflection, so the angle of reflection will also be equal to 30 degrees. So it will become as 30 degree each. So this is 30 degree and this will be also 30 degree, okay students. But what would happen when we shift the position of the mirror, which is M1 at this point, if we are rotating the mirror? So what would happen here? So let's say I have positioned the mirror now at the point M2 here by making an angle of 20 degrees. So this is the angle of 20 degree here, and I have shifted the, not shifted basically, I have rotated this mirror M2, basically M1 only, and now I'm just calling this is the second position, which is M2, by making an angle of 20 degrees students, right? So is in this way, as you can understand here, when you shift the, or when you rotate the position, or when you rotate the mirror basically by making some of the angle here, so the position of the normal must be shifted by making same angle. Why? Because the normal is always perpendicular on the plane or on the mirror, right? So let me show you that. So is in that way students, now when you draw the normal for the second case, for this mirror M2, or for this position which we have got after rotating the mirror, right? So this will be the second normal, so I'm calling it as a N2. So as you can see, it has shifted by making an angle of 20 degree. Why it is making 20 degree? Because we got here 20 degree rotation, okay. So because of that reason, it has like made here 20 degree like what we call angle, that shift basically, okay. And this is the position of N2, and is in this way student, the angle of, or we will call the what we call, that's a reflected ray. Now is in this case, the shift of the shift is in the reflected ray will also happen. So now we are getting the next shift is in the reflected ray, but before that, as you can see, the whole angle was, this was the whole angle that was 30 degree. If this is 20 degree here, that is a shift is in the normal, that is N2. So this remaining angle, that will be is equal to 10 degree. That's quite like understood. Okay, so now this is the second reflected ray. Okay, after shifting the normal, or you can say after rotating the mirror by angle here 20 degree, we got basically the shift is in the normal, right? And because of that reason, there is a change, or there is a some shift is in the reflected ray as well. So as you can see, this is the R2, which is the second reflected ray. Okay, so this was the first reflected ray, and this is now the second reflected ray, which is R2. So our basically main goal is to find out the angle between this, which is the R1 and R2, which was the initial reflected ray and the final reflected ray, by making some of the rotation or rotating the mirror by making some of the angles. Okay, so students, here our question is basically how we can find this out. So that's the point basically. So let me tell you one of the very important thing. This angle, because see, N2 is the normal, right? For this case, N2 is the normal. We all know that by following the that's we call angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So that's we call law of reflection, right? So by following the law of reflection, as you know, angle I is equal to angle R, right? So that's angle I is equal to angle R. So as you can see, this will be the angle of incidence, this whole angle from here to here, okay, which is 50 degree here. Why it is 50 degree? Because 30 degree was previously, it was 30 degree, and there was a change, there was a shift is in the second normal, which was 20 degrees. So 30 plus 20, so that's give you 50 degree here. And because of that reason, this would also become as 50 degree here from this point to this point. Okay, and this is already 10 degree. When this is already 10 degree and the whole is 50 degree, that is basically angle between the N2 and R2, right? So because of that reason, you can easily find out the angle between R1 and R2, and which will be is equal to 50 degree minus of 10 degree, and that will give you is equal to here 40 degree. Okay, students. So here one of the very interesting conclusion we got here. As you can see, the angle of rotation, that was 20 degree, right? And we got the shift of the reflected ray, that is 40 degree, which is double of the angle of rotation. So here we got the conclusion basically, and is in this way we can easily conclude that when the mirror is rotated by an angle of theta degree, okay, so then the reflected ray rotates by an angle of 2 theta degree. Meaning is here, student, that if you rotate any of the mirror by making some angle, so the shift is in the reflected ray will be double of the angle of rotation. So here as you can see is in this case, if it is 20 degrees, so this will be is equal to 40 degree. So I hope, students, you have understood this question and the concept as well. So still I'm giving you some more emphasis on the topic so that you can clearly understand it. So here I'm focusing on basically the two cases, right? So it is basically mirror and torch cases I have taken. So is in the case number 1, I'll be putting basically torch beam on the mirror. So this is a mirror, as you can see, this is the plane mirror, and here I have a torch. So when I'll basically like focus it on the plane mirror, so we'll be getting some reflection. Okay, so please do the kind of observation here, the intensity of the light and the broadness view. Okay, and where is the position of the reflection after the reflection, where is the position you are getting basically. Okay, so this is the first case, and let me show you now the second case. So this is the second case. So this was the first case, as you got here, this is the position of the mirror, as you can see here, theta is equal to 0 degree, is in this case theta is equal to 0 degree. But now, students, what we are doing, we are making some angle, we are rotating the mirror by like making some angle, let's say that is theta degree here. Okay, so this is the case 2 basically, is in the case 2 what we are going to do, basically rotate the mirror at an angle of theta degree and put the torch beam on the mirror. So let me show you something. When I put the torch beam here on the plane mirror, so as you can see, there is some like change is in the brightness level. Okay, and along with the change is the brightness level, you can see some shift is in the like position of the basically after reflection. So that's the point here. So when you rotate the mirror by making some angle, right, so you'll find the change is in the intensity or the brightness level of the focus. Okay, along with there will be some change or the shift is in the basically the position of the focus, right, or the reflection means to say. Okay, so here you are having the comparative study both at the same point in time. So let me show you one by one. So I'm going to show you here. So position of the beam and the strength is in the both the cases. So this is the case number 1. put the torch beam on the mirror. So I'm here putting the torch beam on the mirror. So this is the first case. As you can see properly the position of it, and it's a focus as well, and it's a brightness as well, and it's a wideness as well, right? So let me show you the second case. So in the second case, students, there is some shift is in the position of this reflection, basically the beam here, okay, after reflection. Why? Because of there is some change is in the rotation of the mirror, means to say the position of the mirror, which is theta degree here. And as you can see, there is a change is in the brightness level as well. Okay, so I hope students is in this sense you have understood this topic, this heading very well. Now we have the very important heading, students, which is we call periscope. Okay, so basically what is periscope? So let me tell you that. So a periscope works on the basis of law of reflection of light. Okay, any object in the line of a sight reflect the light, making it visible, is in the periscope. Means to say, here the meaning is basically if there is any object that is been placed is in the line of a sight of the periscope, so that can be easily viewed by the periscope. Let's say this is the object, right? So which is in the line of the sight of this periscope, so you can easily view the object no matter what is the level of the object. That is not the issue. Okay, so basically it is used to see the object which are not at the same level as the observer. So as you can see, we are having the object here, right, which is above the water level, but the observer which is inside the water, basically. Okay, so observer is not at the same level, basically. Generally we use this periscope is in the submarine, okay, for navigating purpose, for different purposes, basically. So as you can see here, if the object is here that is above the ground level or above the water level, basically that is not on the same level where the observer is sitting, but still the observer can see what is the obstacle or what is the kind of object there is in the sight of the periscope. Okay, students, so hope you are understanding. So let me clear your understanding is in more better manner. So here we have the application of periscope, basically. So how we use the periscope, basically, and what's its application. So as you can see, there is a person, there is a guy who is sitting on some height, and he is not at the same level. Basically he is having some different level, and there is some object, or you can see the apple is placed here, which is not at the same level, but still the person can see by using some of the concept of the periscope. So what is the concept and what is the basic understanding of the periscope? So that's we are going to understand here. So the mirror is in the periscope, basically, student. The mirror are basically placed at an angle of 45 degrees. So here we have two mirror, basically. So this is M1, this one, and this second one, which is M2. So these are the two mirrors which we have placed by making an angle of 45 degrees, such that when the light falls on one of the mirror, it gets reflected back, and we have positioned this mirror in such a way so that the when light will fall one of the mirrors, so it will reflected back on the other. It will the reflection of the basic light will fall on the other mirror, okay, on the other mirror, which further gets reflected back on the observer's eye, and is in that way it will further reflected back, and is in that way the observers can easily see the object, okay, or the object can be easily seen by the observer, you can say like that way. So let me show you something. So students, here as you can see, this is a sight of the observer here. So when observer will see on this mirror, basically, or you can start from here as well, so that's your choice. If this is the object, so there will be some reflection of this object on this plane mirror, okay, which is positioned at the angle of 45 degree. When this object will fall on this mirror, which is by making an angle of 45 degree here, okay, positioned here, means to say, so after falling on it, because here as you can see, this is a normal, so this is N, this is normal, basically this blue one. So this normal, by making the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection by I and R, so by obeying the law of reflection, the light will again reflect back, so it will reflect back here on this point, which is here, as you can see. And now students, again this is again following the law of reflection, so this is the angle of incidence and this is the angle of reflection here, okay, and it will again reflect it back, and easily the observer can see the object. So how it's work, basically, it's working on the base of the law of reflection only. So you can say by using the law of reflection, we can easily see any of the object which is not at the same level or which is not placed as the same level. So basically the principle of the periscope is what? By using the plane mirror, we can easily see the object which are not placed at the same level by using a few of plane mirror. Now students, we have the uses of the periscope as you can see here. So isn't the uses of the periscope, so it has various uses, right? So other than viewing the object that are not at the direct line of the sight, basically the following are the various other uses is in the periscope, or we use basically periscope for the various purposes. Okay, so first use is basically it is used is in the submarines, right? To determine the distance of the torpedo that helps in deciding the right time for the attack. So basically torpedo, when we say torpedo, so it is a basically kind of bomb that is like shaped like a long narrow tube that is fired from the submarine. So it's basically helps to see the torpedo from by sitting a person is in the submarine, which is not at the same level. Okay, this is the first use. Second use is here, student, is it is used is in the nuclear reactor to observe the chemical reaction that are taking places. And third is in military, periscopes are used to observe from their hiding positions, right? So means to say, you can say there are various uses of the periscope. A few of I have written here, I have few of only I have mentioned here, but there are so many other uses of the periscope. And as in the periscope, it is basically on the principle of the laws of reflection, and we generally use 2 or 3 plane mirrors, isn't it? That's basically totally depend on the kind of like periscope we are making. Okay students, so the number of basically mirror, that's depend on the kind of mirror, and how many bending are there, that's totally depend on that. Okay students, so hope that is in this way you have clearly understood this topic very well, and that's all about this today's class. So thank you so much student.